Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So I've had at least one request to update my Blankos NFT list, which I haven't looked at for a long time. So you can see here, I used to do this, update this, actually update it every day pretty much, but not updated it for a while. So I updated it yesterday, once in August, a couple of times in July. But it's sort of progressively less and less. We can look into some reasons for that. But basically, this is let's get rid of that for the time being. So this is a live list. You can have a look at it, or it's a list that anyone can look at. And what I've done here basically is I go to the marketplace here. So this is the marketplace where people can buy and sell Blankos. So there's a shop where you can buy and also buy and sell Blankos, but the Blankos that are available at that period of time, then all the Blankos basically are owned by people on the blockchain, and then you can sell them, trade them sort of peer-to-peer on the marketplace. So that's where I'm getting my data from, basically just looking at the floor price here. So it's to a degree a sort of crude measurement, but it's sort of the best sort of granularity you can get. Basically anyone who owns one of these NFTs can put it on sale at whatever price, and then obviously there's some degree of price discovery, and people think, oh, I'll buy that. I'll buy it out to dude for $33, or they think it's too expensive, and someone puts it on for $31, and someone buys that. So that's where we're getting the data from. Done this for a sort of say sort of a long period of time, over a year now. So it's interesting to see some trends. So basically, what I'm doing here is we can see there is alphabetical order here. The Blankos names. So there's actually 123 Blankos seem to be live at the moment. So basically, some of them are released to buy in the shop. Some of them you can sort of create in the game by sort of blending existing ones and sort of burning ones to get sort of more expensive ones. There's a whole bunch of ones that are just given away for free. There's been a couple of sort of there's a Twitch giveaway and an Amazon Prime giveaway, and a few, sort of some event giveaways as well. So there's a whole bunch of different ways in which these Blankos can be produced. Some of them you buy. Some of them you can see it has launch price NA. Those are ones that are not, you can't buy them. They've been given away in some process. You can also see here, we can look at, this will sort of become important later on. There's a whole bunch of different sort of seasons. So currently we're in early access season 0 actually. We're going to go into early access season 1 in the next month. But there's a whole bunch of, the majority of the Blankos that have been released to be in early access. That's been for a long period of time. But there's been a few other ones. There was this private beta, pre-alpha, open beta. So there's a whole bunch of different, basically these are different sort of time frames. So the alpha were the sort of the first ones that were created when the first chests were sold back in November 2020. Am I right? 2021. I can't remember now. November 2021, I guess. So that's what's going on there. And then where there is a where they were sold, we can see here there is the launch price. I don't know why that is. It seems to have a problem with that. There's a launch price here as well. So you can see sort of the price at which they were originally sold for in the shop if they were sold. And then of course we can just do some basic sort of ROI calculations. Then we look to see wrong one. So we look to see here if you bought a Blanko at the launch price and now you sold it at the floor price, obviously you might have one that's worth more expensive for probably serial number reasons. But you can see here a bunch of them. Some of them you could. So the best. I'm not saying Blankos should be seen purely as an investment. Obviously, it's a game that you might want to play and have fun with. But in terms of investment, the best one so far is Space Ape, which you could buy back in the day for $10, and now you can sell. The cheapest one is $50, so you can make 400% on that. So some of these have done sort of okay. Anything over 100% doubled your money effectively. But obviously, some of them less so. And you can kind of see in terms of there are some early access ones that you could have done quite well on. Often these are ones, so some of these are ones that were the original ones where you could sort of burn them and create new ones. They did quite well on that. But as we go up here, there's a whole bunch here. So that currently the worst from an investment point of view is a TEQ 63 OG Black, which cost $250 when you bought one, and now the cheapest one is $71. So basically, effectively minus 72%. And you can see here a lot of yellow. So as this early access has gone on, and more of these axes have been produced. Goodness me, Freudian. The more of these Blankos have been produced, then I think we're kind of seeing at the moment sort of the market not so interested in buying new Blankos, and even some fairly new ones, especially some of the more expensive ones. Guilty Gardener, $120 currently. Cheapest one is $75. So some of those ones, Mini B, which was a second Burberry one, that was $350. Currently get it for $269. So that's just sort of what's been going on there. And then I've got these other. So this is the ROI from the launch. I've got some other time frames. So here is the ROI from the 1st of January this year. So basically, whatever the price was of these Blankos on the 1st of January this year, has it gone up or down? So this is only for a subset, because obviously a whole bunch of these weren't available on the 1st of January 2020. So obviously it's a subset of those. But we can see here that basically, if you bought a Blanko on the 1st of January at that price, you basically, all of them have lost money. So that's sort of, I guess, a broad look at the sort of market sentiment, I suppose. Similar one here, we can look at what was going on back from if you bought one of these Blankos on the 2nd of October. I choose that time frame because it was sort of when the marketplace sort of first went live and everyone could sort of get involved. Again, one Atom. If you bought the original Atom, then on the 2nd of October 2021, then the price has gone up slightly. Everything else price has gone down. And if we look finally, these are just sort of manual things. If we look back, the ROI from the 3rd of August, which is actually when the marketplace first went open, but not to everyone. There are a few there. Some of the more, they're actually the more rare ones, but they are, if you sort of know the Blankos, they're sort of older ones within the early access build. So actually, Gorilla Samurai, I've actually no idea why, but Gorilla Samurai is the best performing one from the 3rd of August. Menace Space 8 Najiko. So there we go. So that's what's been going on. So prices are basically sort of still going down, and I've got this little thing here. So this is looking for the whole collection of any Blanko that is live at that period of time. So this is the ROI since the mint of every Blanko. So this is basically looking, if a new Blanko was minted for $10, then we basically be looking at the we add $10 to the sort of the new denominator, and add the price of the Blanko as it is now to the numerator. So this is basically looking at the entire collection, and for the first time this has gone negative, and the ROI since the start of 2022 has been negative for a while. I've actually done this in a graph so we can sort of get a better sort of view of what's going on here. So the blue line is basically as soon as NFTs were live, what was the sort of the floor market price of those. This goes back to actually start of April 2022, so it's not the full picture, but you can see here, it tends to go positive, and then some event happens to sort of increase it, and that was generally some of these sort of they're called gem rushes, but basically ways of burning Blankos to get rarer Blankos, and those sort of worked quite well. There was at least 2 big ones of those. This is the last one, and because those basically make that individual Blanko much more valuable, because you can use it to create these really valuable ones. So you basically see this uplift is sort of this line's for looking at the whole collection, but this uplift is sort of driven by just a few. Or in this case, one Blanko. There was another one of these things happened where for the first time you could mint some of these Blankos onto Ethereum. In that case, I think there are only 6 Blankos I think you could mint onto Ethereum. But the price of those all went up because people just like, oh, maybe I can sell them on Ethereum rather than selling them on the Blankos blockchain, its own marketplace. So those kind of news events sort of drive the value of specific Blankos, which obviously is reflected in this sort of average. But you can see over time there's quite sort of strong downward pressure now. As I say, for the first time, this more longer lasting, this longer view of Blankos has sort of gone negative, and this is the one from the start of 2022. So if we basically looked at the start of 2022 and all the Blankos that were out there, what was their price then on the 1st of January 2022? So not their mint price, the price in January 2022. How does that change as a collection? Again, you can sort of see the same trend going on. So if this event happens, it sort of increases it. But this line went sort of negative sort of much sooner in the year, and this is partly driven because pretty much every Blanko that goes live now is immediately people are sort of selling at a loss. So obviously that's also fed into the fact that for some of these mints there may be 2,000 available, and maybe only 500 are being actually created. So there's a whole bunch of sort of stuff going on here, and it, you know, and maybe I am wrong to look at Blankos through the eye of return on investment. And I think that's something in the blockchain space we probably focus on too much. But clearly, what happens when the dominant sort of trend is that you buy something for $50 and then the price on the marketplace is $40. That's obviously not conducive to growing an audience, and also conducive to people buying stuff because they kind of think, well, why would I buy it? Why would I buy it from the mint? I just get it off the marketplace. Sort of slightly sort of a view on deflation without getting too economic. So that's what's going on in Blankos. Obviously all these things can change. Just because the trend's going one way now doesn't mean it's going to continue that way. Obviously the big thing, I guess, for Blankos in the next month is going live on the Epic Game Store. So the moment it's just been available on PC, you have to download the sort of launcher, which is kind of fine to do, but maybe a bit more clunky. Maybe more people will download it through the Epic Game Store. I guess there'll be some promotion around that. So maybe I will continue to have a look at what goes on with Blankos NFT prices around that. Obviously, I think more. Not going to be fewer people playing the game when that happens. I'll just be sort of cautious that it's not necessarily going to have millions and millions of new players. It might do, possibly. But we'll see what happens. But definitely, no investment advice on this one. So anyway, just because people asked me to update it, I've updated it, and I sort of will continue to update it. So if you're interested, obviously you can just make a copy of this Google Doc and sort of fiddle around with it to your heart's content. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. See you again soon.